Well, hi, it's David Gomm in the Stained Glass Studio, and on this Tech Tip Thursday, we're going to talk about fixing a stained glass window. Now, you'll notice that there's 6 pieces of green glass. Oh, there's not really one here, but all 6 of them, let's see, I believe one of them is not broken, and all the rest are. So we're going to have to replace the glass with this piece of glass that's a small sheet. So in order to get a perfect match, we got to looking at this thing and we decided that we might as well replace it. Now these 2 pieces are also shattered. So really you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of glass that are okay. So it just makes more sense to go ahead and just rebuild the whole window. So the first thing we did before this was taken off is I laid it down here on this this paper, and I traced out the outline. And that way I can get it back together, and it'll be the same size as when it started. So I'll put some nails in it so I can hold my pieces of glass out the way they need to be. I drew in the broken part there just for fun. I didn't need to. And as I was doing it, I thought, gee, this is kind of silly.
You might have told your audience before, but tell them about your nails.
Horseshoe nails. See that one side is flat and the other side is rounded. Now if you put the flat side right up next to, let's see, I want that right there, then it kind of pushes over so it's nice and tight. But it's got that nice flat surface so it holds your glass right up at the edge where you want it.
So it looks like the brown pieces are the only ones you really get to save.
Yeah, I've got the corner in the middle. That's it. One thing about it is that the glue chip glass, the 2 pieces are shattered and the other one isn't. But they are very. It's a real easy to cut glass, and it's cheaper than most of the other stained glass. So it just makes sense to just replace it all.
So you're talking about glue chip glass. I think it's an interesting story as to how glue chip glass is made. Do you want to talk about that while you're pounding?
Sure. Well, we were in the olden days, we used to get a lot of different kinds of chemicals from our supply. They don't sell the chemicals that they used to. Like, you used to be able to buy a bag of blue crystals that you made your own patina with. And you could also buy animal hide glue so you could make your own glue chip glass. Some people make their own when they're doing signs so that they can kind of do the glue chip.
So what do you do with it?
So when you make your own glue chip, you take window glass and you sandblast it, and then you pour animal hide glue on it and let it dry. Then you take the whole sheet and put it into an oven, and that after it's dried, you put it in the oven, and that causes the glue to shrink up, and it's adhered to the sandblasted part, and so it all just pops and pops and breaks off, and that's how you get this really organic looking Jack Frost look, and that's how it's made. Okay, now that I've got my nails in place, now I'm ready to cut some strips. And actually, before I cut the strips, I'm going to desolder this brown. I can tell that whoever made this originally either didn't have access to really good tools or weren't very good at cutting, because see, this piece of glass here is, the cut marks are really rough.
We wanted to match this green, and we didn't happen to have the exact shade that the customer wanted. So I had to go to 2 or 3 different places in our town to just find the right green. As it is, I don't know if it's exact, but it is close enough. And that's sometimes tricky, especially when places are changing their recipes, and even in the same sheet of glass you can get different shades, so it's hard to match, but I think we did a pretty good job,
especially since we're going to change them all out.
Yeah, this is from a lamp of some kind, and so there are I think 3 other panels exactly like this. And the customer was saying that one of the other panels had been repaired once before. So,
and you said lamp, but you meant cabinet, right?
You know, he said lamp, but maybe he meant cabinet. This seems much more like a cabinet.
That's quite a bit of variation. See how bad that cut is?
It's jaggedy. Might take a little grinding, huh? And save those greens. I'm always looking for little pieces of green. They're good for leaves and trees, grass.
Now this is interesting that the whole thing was copper foil, but they still put this
strength, eh?
Yeah, I guess. They didn't have restrip back in those days, I guess.
So when you say back in those days, do you think this is an old window?
It's probably 20, 30 years old.
Ah.
Working with old windows, sometimes you'll get a real strong odor of mold that has grown underneath the solder. All right, I've got it flipped over so I can try to get rid of that, get that glue chip that's all surrounding the brown. Get that out of there.
So did you do all this scoring?
No, this was shattered.
Wow.
I don't know. This is the way it came to us. So we would have had to break this piece out no matter what.
Sure you have some kind of covering for your eyes when you're doing this.
All right.
It's no wonder that repairs are not a glass artist's favorite thing to do.
They're sure not my favorite thing to do. There's not a whole lot of reward in taking somebody else's work of art and because when you get done with it, so many of the times the pieces that you're working on just aren't that great. Now that door that we did recently, that was pretty good. That was kind of fun to do because it was a lovely piece of glass.
But repairs are nice because it's probably got some kind of significance or they wouldn't want it repaired in the first place. And so going back up and being able to be enjoyed again, it's good.
Well, we have some friends in the glass business who do the lead method, and they almost always send their clients here to have us do the repair, and then when they find that it's not copper foil, then they have to go back to the other place. But they always send them here first because they just don't want to have to fiddle with them.
Yeah, so if we get someone who wants a repair done with the lead method, we send them to our friends. So in that way, we kind of help each other.
Yeah, and they charge a pretty penny for their repairs too, because with the lead method, you don't just take one piece out. You have to pretty much disassemble the window. And
Yeah, it's worth the money. Well, after a student has come and taken a class, they always say that they appreciate the art of stained glass even more after they've tried it themselves. And so I think this is the case too. You will appreciate the repair knowing how much work went into doing it. And if they don't know, we'll just send them to this video.
yeah, unless I speed it up, and then it looks like it happened real quick. That sure is a lot of work to get a piece of brown glass. Let's see, what do I got?
If we could have matched it, we would have just said, throw the whole thing away.
That's right. Somebody wondered what I was painting onto the piece when I was doing a different repair. They didn't realize I was just using more flux. Keep the solder to run. So what this is doing is it's thinning it out so that it's just the foil that's holding it instead of the foil and the solder. And so now I should
The trash
be...
can is there to hold any solder that falls through.
Hey, there it goes. I think I can coax it off this end. Whew.
You did it.
Okay. I get these other two off. They'll probably be pretty easy compared to that. See, this one's all broken. I wonder how this window got broken so badly. It really got smashed. I guess it could have been, you know, in a door, and then somebody yanked it open and it was caught somehow.
And there you have it. There it is. And we start over.
All right, I've got these cut out, these 6 strips, and I've got to now mark them for length. And so I have a center mark right here, which is where I want my glass to come up to. So I measured this to be 9.5. So I'm gonna 9.5 lengthwise. And then let's see. 5.25. Now I'm going to make it slightly less than 5.25. So I have just a little bit of wiggle room in there. See, I'm just spreading oil. I'm not scoring the first time I go over this. Otherwise, I would be dulling my cutter. Okay, now, in order to set this piece in, I just put one of the corners on each of the cross pieces. We'll kind of there we go. So now I can just flip them over and cut them. This kit will fit right in there. Any day. You think? Okay, now we just need to foil it and solder it and it'll be done. So, see you next time.